Hey everyone, this is a Nerd Boys comic blog. I'm Marco.
I'm Charles.
And today we're talking about I Feel Pretty, the new Amy Schumer movie.
Yeah, I guess I'm no longer a part of this podcast. I didn't notice what I was signing up for. Sorry, Marco, I gotta go.
Oh, you don't want to watch the next installment in the Amy Schumer verse?
No, I do not think she's funny.
Oh, well, she also steals jokes, so...
Of course. I mean, but that's not what we're here for.
No, we're here to talk about Avengers Infinity War.
Are you alright?
I'm alright.
You sure?
We watched the movie a few days ago on opening night.
Yes.
We gave everyone enough time.
Because I don't believe in spoilers, and YouTube have, they love spoilers. Like, everybody has been doing their reviews, and it's like, give it some time. And also, right before you was telling me, I believe a majority of the people out there has seen it, because it done made barely before the first week is over with, which was last time you checked, which is 7 hours ago, which is technically freaking
Wednesday?
12,
just less than
Wednesday, 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it one, just give it a little stretch. $1 billion.
No, 800 million. So
800,
close to $1 billion.
Close to $1 million.
At the end of this weekend, we're going to get $1 billion.
So, is that international or?
That's international.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you're one of the 5 people who hasn't.
You cheap bastard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just had to put that out there. There's no reason you shouldn't have seen a movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear, I'm waiting until... I know people who's I won't be able to sit this weekend. I know it's going to be crazy, but I'm off work Monday, and I'm going to catch the matinee because I don't want to deal with the craziness. And guess what? There were still people in there. I believe it's going to get $1 billion before this week is over with.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to do that. So that's why we're talking about spoilers now. We're doing the After the Hype segment for our show.
Okay. I thought you was hey, let's do a non-spoiler. I'm like, no. I'm sorry. I can't do a non-spoiler for this. So this one, I have to just cut the red tape. We're going right in. We're going deep into this movie. Where do you want to start?
Well, how did you feel after the movie? Immediately after.
Okay, I'm going to just put this out there as a disclaimer. I myself spoiled myself Tuesday when an article by the Variety was written giving big details about the movie. Some things were left out, but at the same time, it did not prepare me for what happened. I feel like this. I feel like you can know what's coming, but unless you experience it for yourself, you'll never understand it. For instance, someone like Marco, he's in the military. When he was coming home, his fiance is probably I know Marco's coming home. But when she sees him, it's completely different. And I believe that applies for everybody. And that's how it was with this movie. I knew what was coming, but it did not matter.
All right, let's get into the deaths and the lives that survived.
We're going to start off Heimdall. Why they had to kill the brother first. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there.
I just think Idris Elba's tired of it.
I think he is.
I think he was all right, 3 Thor movies, I'm done.
And it sucks because I wish he could have done more. But it's he's there's only so much I can do. Understandable. Sad. I'm going to miss him. It's going to be okay. Next, Loki. I'm kind of surprised. Even me going in, knowing spoilers, even when I read it, I'm okay, I'm going to take this article as a grain of salt. Maybe he lied to us. Same guy who read Last Jedi, not lying. I'm shocked that they they killed them off.
I mean, this is, granted, the 3rd time he's died.
Yes.
But I think this time's going to stick.
Yeah, I think this is that one time, and it's going to stick, but at the same time, I'm I know he's dead, but I just can't believe it.
Yeah. There's been so many tricks before. Is he really, though? And that's what kind of made it hard for me to get through it emotionally. To feel that he was dead.
Oh, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
And it's not he died, or, he just went out in this classic way. Thanos snapped his neck and dropped that body like a bag of, wet clothes. And he walked away I've done what I needed to do. You're no longer an annoyance to me. I'll see you guys later.
That's what happens when you deal with Thanos.
Yeah. As I've told friends, Thanos is like that one guy where you're working at a company and you just hear he's stopping by to do a visit. He's like that, that district manager or that higher up in corporate where it's he's just popping in for a visit and it's what did I do wrong? I'm fine with emails. I'm fine with text messages, conversations over the phone. I don't need you visiting me. And that's how Thanos is. And it's every time he was in a scene, he just showed, there was pressure in the room.
Yeah.
even in the scene when he's sitting there talking to Gamora, it was just like strong. And speaking of Gamora, I think we're going before we get to that.
Actually, I think we should talk more about Thanos. Yeah, how this movie kind of really built him up as a not just a villain, but like a character in this giant universe. Like probably the most well-defined character for like the villains.
And I mean, maybe even some of the heroes, and it was done in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. And he probably only had about an hour and a half of screen time.
Yeah, I mean, this was a Thanos movie. Of course, you probably heard it from other people, but we're saying it again. This was clearly a Thanos movie, and I can honestly say, yes, he's an asshole, but it's like they try to make you sympathize with him. And it's like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you're going about it the wrong way.
His entire plan is really just to prove himself, like prove in his own crazy logic that if he did the same thing for his planet, it would have worked.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this plan does not work at all. Like, to kill half the universe to have it survive, it's not going to work. He could have raised the amount of resources to, like, infinite amounts, so everyone could have lived.
No,
But in his own crazy logic, he's like, nah, I gotta kill him.
No, you gotta take out half the universe. I mean, it makes it easier that way. Oh, and hilarious thing, there's actually this website called...
Yeah, it was like, did Thanos kill .me?
Yeah, and sadly enough, Marco did not make it, but I did.
Yeah, so half of this podcast lived.
Yeah, so the good thing is, there was more pizza left for me. So, sorry, Marco. Sorry, I'll eat your slices for you in vain. I'll have a moment of silence with, like, subtle sounds of chewing in the background.
Yeah, I like this, the end credits, it's just like a dude eating popcorn while it's like sad, somber music with white text.
I mean, and we'll get to the end at the end of this. But every character that they had in here, I can honestly say I enjoyed who they were. It was honest reactions about them, and nothing disappointed me. Even with the whole Peter Quill situation, him getting like there's people, Peter Quill. I'm like, no, you have to understand. As his character, what did you expect him to do? Like, you've seen the first 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. You see how he would react under that. And, I mean, it's not like as if it's like, oh, yeah, he just met Gamora. Oh, my God, I said Gamora.
Gamora?
Gamora. I don't know why I'm choking my words. But he met her, and over those 2 movies, you see that he slowly falls in love with her as she, recuperate that love back.
Reciprocate,
okay. Wrong choice of words. But I'm not upset at Peter Quill. And then also, you can't really be upset because guess what? If it was really a problem, Doctor Strange would have said something.
Yeah. I think the actions Peter Quill took were in character and it made sense for the story.
Yes.
And I can't be mad at them for that.
Oh, and did you know that sorry to cut you off. Did you know that James Gunn wrote the script for the Guardians?
I did know that. That's what made it feel perfect.
Because I feel like we're once again bashing this universe, this cinematic universe, but DC, watching Justice League, that didn't really feel like Batman, and that didn't feel like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it felt very out of character for Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Everything she did was very different from her own standalone movie. And also different from BVS.
Yes.
It just felt really weird.
And I feel like bringing on James Gunn to write the Guardians, which, I mean, when you think about it, they're like a mini version of the Avengers. Like, you need someone who's familiar with those characters. And, I mean, they're like his baby, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
Thor, loved him in this movie. I mean, he cracked this one joke with Rocket where he's like, yeah, my father passed, my sister died, I had to kill her. No, see, my brother died before me. He died a few times and always came back. But this time he died again. And everything will be okay. And I'm just like, he went through some stuff. And the fact that, like, he's out on this quest to search for this weapon to defeat Thanos, it just comes to show you, like, no matter how bad it gets, like, he just keep trying.
Yeah. Thor's the most tragic character in the entire MCU, but he has the best sense of humor about it.
Yes.
He's always more optimistic than any other character, probably more optimistic than Cap.
Yeah.
I would say he's also got a lot more screen time in this one than, like, the other 2 Avenger movies.
Yes.
And good screen time. Not like Age of Ultron, where he goes into, like, a pool, has visions, and, like, just comes back in the second half of the movie to make the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like, I really enjoy his character. I mean, I believe there was true growth with him in this movie. Badass from the moment he get his axe, the Stormbringer. Like, he does bring the storm. He brings down the hammer.
Yeah, Stormbreaker.
Or Stormbreaker.
He breaks the storm.
He breaks storm. I don't know why I'm getting all the names wrong.
And it was so within Rocket's character to just laugh at the name.
Yes.
It's like Taserface, Stormbreaker. But there's also other Guardian stuff, like with Peter Quill.
Yes.
And the standoffishness between him and Thor.
I mean, he seemed intimidated because, I mean, let's be honest, Thor's an alpha male.
Yeah, he's the big dog, and then Peter's like, what? I'm big too.
He's like the little chihuahua that comes up to the pit bull and like, yeah, I'm stronger than you. Like, yeah, you better leave Thor alone.
Yeah. And I like how they point out Chris Pratt has gained a little bit of weight. They didn't like fat shame him, but
they did. Oh no, Rocket did.
Yeah. Rocket was like, you're one sandwich away from being fat.
And everybody was just like, yeah, it's kind of true, man.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's gotta be
2014 was a long time ago, man. You got really cut for Guardians, but
after that, it was just like, whatever.
Then Jurassic World happened, and then, you know.
Yeah, you just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Let me see more characters. Cap, they didn't show much of him in this movie, which
but
is
that's understandable because he had a lot of screen time in Civil War.
Yeah, that
was his movie.
It is his movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know who Cap is. Don't concentrate on him too much.
I think that's intentional. For Avengers 4, we get all the original cast
Yes.
to really shine one last time.
Yes. Tony Stark, I must say, once again, his tech, phenomenal.
Yes, it finally got to that nanotech level from Black Panther.
Yeah, and I mean, like we was discussing before, with like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I'm wondering if that's how their helmets are. But like Tony, I mean, just like every time I see him, like with one of his suits on, it's like, okay, I'm really enjoying this. But this one, I mean, he went like balls out. I'm gonna just go ahead and say, like, just the way it transformed. Like, you remember, I don't know if you read his arc in All New, All Different, like one of the first storylines that came from out of there.
Yes, I do. That suit was really overpowered.
Yeah.
And this one is too.
That's how they did. But, like, you gotta understand, like, you fight against Thanos, who already, at that time, had 4 stones.
Yeah, he had 4 stones during the Iron Man fight.
Yeah, and, I mean, I was impressed with what Tony was doing. At the same time, if it was anybody else, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah. If it was any other villain, nothing. Like, it would have been a breeze.
Yes.
If this was Vulture, he would have been dead.
I mean, you couldn't compare that.
Yeah,
That's not funny. Like, but I was impressed with Tony's, like, tech in this. And, like, I always like to see, like, even in Civil War, I love the fact that, like, he's sitting in his helicopter, which is pretty much like, you know, AI is, like, flying it. And then he just turns over and, like, hops. Like, his suit just comes on him, and I love that. And I like the fact that now his suit literally walks around in his chest. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I definitely like the not real arc reactor. It's just a fake thing that he wears.
Yes, but it's an arc reactor.
Yeah.
It is an arc reactor, right? But it just houses the nanites?
Yeah, it's not for his chest. It's not for his heart
no.
anymore. It's just the thing he wears for safety.
Is it a t-shirt, or did he actually get that installed on his chest?
I think it's an attachment to his shirt.
Okay, I'm wondering.
Because he had the surgery to get his heart repaired, and he had the extremis to...
You know him. You never know what he's going to do.
Yeah, he could be altering his DNA for all we know.
Yes. Let me see who else. I mean...
Didn't get that much Black Widow.
No.
But we did get a lot of her in other movies.
I mean, but with Black Widow, we did get that girl fight every time she came off against Proxima Midnight, which I enjoyed that. Her and Okoye, you know, in the Wakanda final battle, really good. Black Panther, we had a whole movie with him.
His movie came out like 2 months ago.
And I feel like if they knew, like, the hype and, like, how strong that movie became, there probably would have been just a tad bit more scenes with him.
Yeah. I think they regret a little bit that they killed off T'Challa, but they know people are going to want to watch it for Okoye.
Yeah. Because, I mean, M'Baku, he's still around. I actually enjoy those 2 characters.
Those might be reshoots, too. Like, they filmed M'Baku's reaction of everything, like, the weekend after Black Panther came out.
Like, he was just... And I feel like that was just, like, looking at, like, numbers, like, wait a minute, is that movie really making that much? Wait a minute, what? Do anybody else see this? They're like, just CGI his outfit on him.
We don't have time.
But no, like, Black Panther, I'm really... I was shocked towards that. But, I mean, character-wise, Guardians, enjoyed all of them. Someone told me, and they were kind of upset by this, and I was kind of, like, I was dumbfounded by like their remarks. They was like, Drax is more funnier than usual.
I think we've just grown more accustomed to his jokes.
Yes. Like, and I told them, like, you gotta understand, when you meet Drax, he's angry. He has no family. All he want to do is fight Thanos, kill him. That's it. Family got slaughtered. And if you didn't know about a second one, Drax now see this as his new family. And we have to understand that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is literally like, I would say 4 years before Infinity War. Like, that's more time that they spend on that ship together. Like, of course he's going to open up more, being more joking. I mean, even in the second one, the shots he was shooting at Mantis was just hilarious.
Yeah, you can tell between 2 and Infinity War, like, him and Mantis became, like, best friends.
Yes.
Because he understands, like, even though he sees her as ugly, she has a pretty personality.
Oh.
And every one of his jokes, like, landed with me.
Yes, and it wasn't like it was like, okay, damn, here we go again, or, Drax. No, like, entire Guardians, I'm glad that they were there, because I feel like we needed, like, that laughter, that, like, humor to, like, relieve us. And some people were like, even, like, other, like, YouTubers I was, like, listening to, they were like, oh, it was too many jokes. Like, it was almost like Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, no. You have to understand. Some people, like, defense mechanism to, like, serious situations is laughter. Like, even Tony, when he's fighting, what's the wizard one?
Ebony Maw.
Yeah. He called him Squidward, for God's sakes. I was just like, wow, okay. And then, like, when you have someone like Peter, he's on a freaking spaceship that he's not accustomed to. And he's just sitting there like, hey, I think I know how to get out of this situation. You seen that movie Aliens? And to me, I'm sitting there like, what part in Alien is he talking about? I see the Hogan store. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That's actually, what? Keep this kid around. He deserved his Avengers slot. Okay, give him his ID card. He's good.
Yeah, but he had a little ceremony with, like, Tony just putting his hands on his arms. It's funny. And then I really like the Russo brothers keeping this running theme of, like, Peter referencing movies.
Yes.
And calling them really old.
Yeah.
Which to him, a kid born in, like, what? He's probably born in 2002.
Yes.
So, like, a movie from 30 years ago, for him, obviously is going to be considered very old.
But I have to find it hilarious when they brought up the fact that Peter Quill did a dance-off for the universe.
And they bring back Kevin Bacon.
Yes, and he was like, oh, you talking about, like, that good movie Footloose? He like, the movie was never good.
No, it was never good.
And so, like, those moments, I don't care if people are like, oh, it's too funny. No, those were heartwarming moments that we needed in a situation. Because, I mean, every time it was like, hey, we got the Guardians, or, we're going over to, like, Scarlet Witch and Vision, which I like what they did with those two. I mean, normally I'm annoyed by those. Oh my God, these two are in love. But you gotta understand, they grew together. They kind of have like this, like, they're drawn to each other. And I feel like it's more off because, she gets her powers from one of the Infinity Stones. He pretty much have one stuck in his forehead. Have one stuck in his forehead. Oh, so that was the same one that gave him their powers?
Yes, the Mind Stone was in the scepter. And then the scepter was broken open to get Vision his stone, all that stuff.
Okay, I keep forgetting. I don't keep up. I know there's 6 stones. The travels that they go through, I don't keep up with that. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's goddamn 19 now.
19 now.
But
soon to be 20.
Yes. But every character in here didn't feel like as if like they were extras. They didn't feel out of place. Everybody felt wanted. Everybody felt like they deserved to be in this movie. Granted, characters like Hawkeye, which we didn't see, understandable. He's on house arrest. Him and Ant-Man, they not in this movie.
Yeah, and for such a big cast, it really felt like everything meshed a lot better than people were anticipating. Everyone thought like, wow, 40 characters, this is gonna blow.
And I think that people need to understand that like Marvel has this unique thing where they help each other flow along. Because it's like, you gotta understand, at the end of the day, imagine yourself being as any one of those characters, and everyone that you know in all walks of life are literally every other character. Like, I mean, I could be Cap, you could be Spider-Man, we have our interactions, but like, us as moviegoers and viewers, we see that as, oh, okay, we always so used to that one hero being a star of that movie, that when you bring these stars together, we don't know how to react. And I could say the Russo brothers, Kevin Feige, they made it so organic to like help you understand all these characters are in the same universe. It's like how anything else would be. It's like any other like leaders of the world come together and meet. Yeah. Like at the UN, like that's just how it is. And it works together so well. And that's why I really enjoy how this movie played out. Because, I mean, to be honest, even though this movie is 2.5 hours long, you don't feel that. Because the moment that you see that, like, it starts off letting you know, this is not a joke.
Yeah, it's very serious. It's the opposite of an X-Men movie. X-Men movies, it's all Wolverine. Everyone else is a supporting character with very, very thin personalities to them. Very flimsy personalities. They're just there to pretty much support Wolverine. For an Avengers movie, it's like every character is well-defined. They have their own movies to define them.
Yes.
And they bring their characteristics and their personalities into this film, too. And you've had, like, 18 movies to build up to this. And anyone who's had, like, just less screen time than the others gets all the screen time in this.
Yeah.
Vision, Scarlet Witch, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Thor, Gamora. Gamora gets more attention here than she did in the other two Guardians movies.
Yes, and I mean,
and you actually care about her.
Yeah, and all that care that you gain of her gets taken away when she gets thrown off a cliff just to get the soul.
Yes, which had one of the best cameos in this entire movie, next to Stan Lee.
I never thought that I'll see again, ever in my life.
Yeah.
Ultron.
No, not Ultron. Red Skull.
I really love that. Like, it's funny because, like, in my spoilers that I read, didn't bring that up. But to see that Red Skull, like, comes back and it's like, yeah, I was, trying to gain all these, like, magical stones. And, yeah, I'm punished for it. So I'm here now. And it's like one of those, like, yeah, he knows, like, you know, messed up now, Ron.
Yeah. This is his eternal punishment for his sins against the galaxy, or the universe, pretty much.
Yeah.
The natural order of things.
And I find it hilarious because I like how they just pay homage to, like, that one question that all fans had, like, where did he go? Is he coming back? And then when people did hear about it, it was part of like, oh, I know what's finna going to happen. Thanos going to probably use it and summon everybody, enemies back. And, like, no. All the theories that people had was wrong, and I love it. No one's seen anything coming in this movie, and it was great.
Yes. I can say this is a movie that I had so many expectations for, and not only were they met, they were surpassed.
Yes.
And there were plenty of things I wasn't expecting. Like, I didn't watch any trailers past maybe, like, the second one.
Oh, okay.
So then all the clips and stuff like that, I didn't want to watch those to spoil anything for me or ruin jokes, anything like that. But I felt like everything in the movie just worked better that way. I think I have to bring up Spider-Man now.
Okay.
Because they got him so right in this movie. Like, this, Civil War and Homecoming really get the personality and characteristics of Spider-Man so well. Because most of the movie, he's just supporting people.
Yeah.
Like, when Gamora, Peter, and Drax are just, like, floating in air, he's there saving them, doing anything that Spider-Man would do. He would just be there to save people. While other bigger heroes like Cap, Iron Man, the Hulk are smashing things, he's saving civilians. And he's doing this.
And that's one thing that I can't say, like, when we see, like, a Spider-Man movie, of course, he's the main character, this is his story. But when you see him compared to the other Avengers, he knows his role and he's not trying to be like, oh, I want to be a leader. He's still trying to prove that, hey, I'm big enough to hang out with you guys, but I'll stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I do enjoy about this, like, Peter Quill, of course, with him and Thor, that's kind of hilarious. Peter Quill being intimidated, but you don't get that from Peter. He's like, hey, I'm still trying to prove to Mr. Stark right here that, I can be an Avenger. And I like that about him.
Yes. Even if you didn't watch Homecoming, if you just went Civil War to this one, you get it automatically.
And the only thing that you'll probably miss out on is, like, his one friend that he taps on the bus and, like, hey, I need you to make a distraction. I mean, you don't need to watch Homecoming to know that, but I mean, if you use common knowledge, you can just tell, like, okay, they're friends, and that's what he's doing his friend for. He knows that he's Spider-Man. Leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now, another standout character that I have to give props to, Dr. Stephen freaking Strange.
Doctor Strange, potentially the GOAT of this movie?
Yes. Like, I'm not going to go into the whole, like, oh, he's seen 14 million possibilities. You've seen the movie. You already know that. You know that, hey, this is the outcome that he could have possibly seen. And this is how things play out. I'm not going to bore you with that. You agree that he knew that this was going to... You have to sometime lose a battle or two in order to win the war.
Yeah, I was actually going to use that analogy. Just, he loses this fight to play the long game.
Yes.
Or the end game, as some people think Avengers 4 will be called.
Yes. And I have to say, he was clutch in this movie. You know what? It's one of those things where I feel like if I'd never seen Doctor Strange, that you can't go backwards. I'm sorry. You can't go backwards. You can't watch this movie then going like, oh, I really like this. I want to see Doctor Strange in his own movie now. No. You will be disappointed. Because the way he was using magic in this movie, goddamn, I wish he used just a little bit of that.
Yes. And the way that he's definitely improved over the course of the 2 years.
Like the magical like shield, like every time him and Wong was just like defense, I'm like, yes!
But just the moment he claps his fist together,
yes,
creates those little sparkly things. I'm like, oh my god, it's gotten so better.
Yeah, and it's like little things like that where in Doctor Strange, you see him struggling to make that. Like when, what's this guy name? Caecilius, yeah, when he was fighting against him, he was struggling, and it's like, okay. And after that movie, it's just like, oh, this is neat. I just wish I got more. And then you see like end credit scenes and like the one scene in Thor Ragnarok where it's like, that's still like magician, like kids party magic. I'm not trying to be mean, but that's just how I felt. But to see him in this movie, like, it's just to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with Strange. I want to stay on his good side. I'm not gonna lean on the cauldron of cosmos, okay? I'm not gonna disrespect anything in a Sanctorum.
Yeah. Just the balls on this guy to just sit there while Thanos is walking in and just be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, like, who does that? Like, and then I like when Thanos was like, the way, like, I mean, the flow of everything when they held Thanos down, and then you just see the circle come from the sky, and like, just like Mantis come and drops down. I'm just like, I really like this. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, what's that? The whole situation where they were fighting Thanos and they almost had the glove off. Honestly, what could have been done, the moment that he starts swinging at Thanos, this is like, Strange we're talking about. He could have easily made a circle, have him punch Thanos. It goes through that circle and hit himself in the back of the head and knock himself out.
He could have. That would have been pretty interesting, seeing Thanos, like, them using Thanos against himself, but they didn't really
No, I'm talking about Peter Quill when he started attacking Thanos when they had him under.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of, like, have Thanos throw a punch, and then Doctor Strange opens a portal, Thanos punches himself out.
I feel like Thanos would punch through, like he would destroy that magical circle in some kind of way. He literally punches his way through the mirror dimension. Like when I seen that, I was like, yep, it's time for me to go. Yep, give me my bags. I don't care. I don't want no receipts. I'm clocking out. I'm done. You know what? Keep the items. I don't care. I'm going home. I quit. I'm done. He tried to trap this man in the mirror dimension, and Thanos is like, no. He Superboy Prime that shit.
Yeah, he just broke through his like, And nonchalantly, in the middle of the fight, they don't make a big spectacle of it. It's like, if you understand it's a mirror dimension, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's like, oh, he punched his way through this thing.
And when that happened, like, I'm sitting there waiting for people's reactions, and like, the guy next to me, he kind of gasped a little bit. I'm like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. This is great. Like, this how... If any other time in the movie when you're watching it, you're like, oh, Thanos is too strong, whatever. When he did that, that's when I was like, okay, there is no way out.
Yeah. I think all the fights in this movie are pretty solid. Like, everything the Russo brothers did in this movie was like everything from Civil War was knocked up to 11 for Infinity War.
Yes.
It was like the superheroes were actually like tag teaming, using their powers to complement each other, like Strange doing those little foot thingies for Peter Quill.
Yes.
And then everyone like actually teaming up against Thanos and then teaming up against all the Black Order in Wakanda. Like, one of my favorite moments in the Wakanda fight actually comes at the very beginning, where it's Black Panther and Cap running. And Cap outruns Black Panther just to get the first punch in.
And it's crazy because, like, I remember that scene, and I was talking to a guy about it today at one of my stores, and I'm just like, why do they have to be so arrogant? Like, I know it's just them getting to them, but it's just like showing, like, okay, we're running together, and then they're just like, yeah, forget you guys. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that you guys are crazy.
I read that scene a little bit differently. I read it as Cap wants to be the first one in danger's way. He wants to be the first one to throw himself out there. He wants to be the first one on the grenade. Yeah, he's going to punch out one of those outriders before anyone else, so he lead by example.
And that's why I will always love Captain America. Like, Even when Vision was like, yeah, I gotta sacrifice myself for the greater good. No, we gotta destroy this stone so Thanos don't get it. And Cap is like, no, we're not sacrificing anybody. Well, Steve, you sacrificed yourself years ago, didn't you? You're like, yeah, but that's whatever. Yeah. We're not sacrificed any.
That's me. I gotta save the Vision. And I know a place too, so as soon as those drum beats roll in.
Yes. But I have to say, the Outriders, you can say, hey, yeah, this is regular CGI army. No. Showing them, like, okay, I feel like once again, when you look at Justice League and you see, like, the parademons, it's just like, oh, okay, those things are kind of creepy, they're weird, they're disgusting. Outriders, it's like a vicious dog. I don't want to be in a room with one of those. I'm good. And they're crazy. Like, they're literally killing themselves trying to get through. By the way, Wakanda attack, once again, if you've seen Black Panther and you thought you were amazed, I'm still flipping out about that shield. I thought at some point in time the shield was going to fall through, and it did not.
It didn't. They actually had to just knock it down.
They was like, you know what? They're going to circle themselves around. They're eventually going to send enough bodies through to get through, because they were getting through. Like, some of them were getting through. And I mean, it wasn't like as if like the ones that got through wasn't like they were losing limbs while they were getting through. Like, it wasn't like as if like, oh, that shield was powerful. Wakanda, if you don't respect them now, respect that shield, okay?
Yeah.
So I was totally impressed by that. But that whole entire battle, and the battle was great, but adding Thor to it was better.
Everyone in the theater clapped. Like, this was a moment where I was like, all right, I have to clap too. Like, they just left enough of a pause where it's like, okay, insert clap here.
Because, I mean, to be honest, it's just one of those things. Every part where people were clapping at, normally I get upset by this. I don't like going on opening weekends. I just hate fans of like certain mediums because I think they're cancerous. But in this movie, every part that like the audience was getting excited about, I couldn't help but to get excited about it. Because when you have a villain like Thanos, you cannot sit there and think, okay, the hero's going to make it through. It's always, you don't know what's going to happen. And when you start seeing, I mean, if you thought that this was going to end pretty, you should have figured out within the first 10 minutes after he killed Heimdall and killed Loki, this is not going to go well for the heroes.
And defeated the Hulk.
Yes.
Like, just no Hulk in this movie. We get him in the very beginning, but no other Hulk.
Yes. All the trailers you've seen, they lied to you. I kept waiting. I was like, okay, he's going to pop out eventually. Never came out. Like Bruce Banner, Hulkbuster. But it just comes to show you, like, even the Hulk cannot handle Thanos. I mean, take away that, like, power gem and then let's see what happens.
Well, I think it's more just, like, Thanos is a brawler. He actually is more skilled in technique.
Yeah.
So he can take down someone with brute force.
Because, I mean, Hulk, all he does is just, like, swing his arms and that's it.
Yeah, he grabs things and he, like, just punches them. But, like, Thanos was a calculated tactician.
He was a boxer.
He was a surgeon with his fists.
Oh,
and
man.
it was amazing. There's the Black Order, which I'm kind of disappointed, but I understand. Like, they're just henchmen. They're sidekicks to Thanos.
Out of all of them, which, of course, the only one that, like, the other three, like, there was, and it's like...
Of the 5?
Oh, there was 5 of them?
Yeah.
What?
Because there's Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, Proxima Midnight, Cull Obsidian, and...
You said Cull Obsidian already.
Oh, well, Corvus Glaive, did I say that one?
No.
And then...
I swear I thought it was only like 4. I swear I thought it was 4. I thought it was...
Maybe it's only 4.
Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, which I guess there are a couple, which they never really, like, act on that ever in the movie.
Yeah.
Then there's, like, the big guy. I don't know who he is.
That's Cull.
I seriously thought like him and the Hulk was at least going to have a moment. Never happens.
It's just him and Banner and the Hulkbuster.
Yeah. And Ebony Maw, which out of the 4, he's hilarious. Because every time he show up, hello everyone, you should be happy to be killed by Thanos. I'm like, no, like, you don't.
He's the hype man. He's the method man that was like, they just dropped him down to New York. Is like, oh, you're going to be so happy that Thanos is going to kill you. Let me tell you, guys.
You're going to be so happy that Thanos is going to kill you. Like, it was just like, I love, like, how he executed things. But, of course, when you have someone like that and you have someone like Tony who doesn't care what you're saying, it's just, oh.
Yeah. And I think Doctor Strange, his whole thing with like Ebony Maw was pretty good. Like they're both kind of sorcerers in their own way. Like, but Ebony Maw still sees the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth to be like just a party magician, like a children's magician.
Yes, and he elaborated on that plenty of times.
Are you ready to get to the ending?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we went through everything.
Yeah, I think every character was touched upon.
Yes.
We didn't do too much Thanos stuff, but we could get to that at the end.
I mean, well, when it comes to Thanos, which this is his movie, I mean, like, if you've seen it, what more is there for me to say? I want to feel sorry for what happened to him, but at the same time, it's like, you're crazy. And what makes it even, like, there could be a crazy person and they can have all these kind of different, like, you know, illusions or ideas of how they think things will work. But what makes a crazy person dangerous is when they have power and support behind it.
Yes. There's the guy downtown who constantly yells on his little microphone, like, oh, you're all going to hell.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine, because he's harmless.
It's fine.
If you have the Infinity Gauntlet...
Yes! Or, you know what, it could be like, okay, yeah, you're crazy, you know, whatever, but the moment you start saying, one more person, yeah, you're going to hell, yes, you're going to hell, and then he builds up a church behind that, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yes.
When, I don't want to hate it. You know what, it's like how some religions are.
Well, that's what the Black Order is. The Black Order is kind of like they worship
every
Thanos.
Mars is pastor.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
He spread the gospel of Thanos, which literally that's what he was saying.
And he raised Gamora into this cult, and that's why she resents him for raising her into this.
Wow, that sounds like somebody I know who got raised in Scientology that made a TV show about it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to talk about when Thanos, Thanos actually wins in the end?
Yeah. I mean, he does that traditional snap his fingers, which, before we get to that, I have to say, did you see that axe coming?
I didn't. I loved that, though. The axe is powerful enough to break through the entire Infinity Gauntlet. Like, all the power of the glove and nothing. He could still make it through.
It was hilarious. I was just sitting there like, oh, man, this is... I was like, what?
Wait. We have to back up. The quest to get all the gems. We have to go back to before the movie even started.
Okay.
We have to go to the destruction of Xandar.
Yeah, that happened off screen.
I
don't have no relation to that.
Andrea audibly gasps just because of one line mention of like, oh yeah, Xandar exploded last week.
Yeah.
And Andrea's like, what? The Novas are gone?
Yeah. And I mean, hopefully Disney decide. I feel like with this, they can actually do Sam Alexander Nova.
Yes, or Richard Rider. I think the plan for Phase 4 or 5 is to introduce more space people.
Yeah, Richard Rider would be perfect. And then you can do, like, past that, you can finally do a Sam Alexander.
Yeah. And then for the Space Stone, Loki gives it away. Thanos breaks the Cosmic Cube, gets the stone from inside.
Which I'm not surprised. Like, and, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, Loki should have left it where it was at. You gotta understand. That cube was just going to float in space.
Yeah, it would have been unprotected.
Yeah, like, I'm glad he took it. At the same time, it's scary that, like, Thanos knows where, like, all these gems are.
Yeah. It's like it's like they're kind of attracted to each other.
Yeah. I mean, and, like, Vision, he talks about that throughout the movie. He's like, yeah, I know. Like, every time Thanos got one of the gems, he felt that.
Yeah. It was kind of like a weird Voldemort and Horcrux thing going on. Yes. And then the Reality Stone was with the Collector.
Yeah, it was with the Collector. Dead.
Possibly dead.
Nah, he's dead.
I think there's also a Arrested Development cameo in there.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. But yeah, Nowhere's pretty much like gone. I mean, no, it's still there. Just that no one is in Nowhere.
Yeah, it looks like the whole Collector thing he had going on, that's done for.
Yeah, that Collector's gone. I feel like Thanos did not know how to use his, like...
The Reality Stone?
No one used the stones, like, properly. Like, I feel like you can alter reality, but it doesn't stick.
Yeah. I think he just doesn't have an imagination enough to, like, make things...
I feel like it's like that. Like, for instance, like, you know, going back to DC once again, with the Green Lanterns, if you got a crazy imagination, your willpower with your ring is going to be phenomenal. And I feel like with the Reality Stone, you can almost kind of consider it as like a Green Lantern ring, but what you do can actually alter things. And it was just always something simple. Turn things into bubbles every now and then, you know.
He did that way more than anything else.
Yeah.
When Gamora actually kills the fake Thanos, that was the scene where I was like, this is fake,
Right.
But Gamora's reaction is very real.
Yes.
And that's what matters.
And I feel like Thanos, like, he understood, like, him seeing that, it was more of like, I know she cares for me and she loves me.
Yeah. Which is why I will not kill her.
Yes.
On top of the fact that she knows where the Soul Stone is.
And the price to pay was her life, so. And even looking and seeing him crying and saying, I'm sorry, I was like, dude, you're really messed up.
Because in his own twisted way, he does love her.
Yes.
He just doesn't love her in a, oh, I will protect you no matter what. He thinks this plan of his is to protect her, even if it is to kill her.
Yeah.
It's just the most messed up thing. And the fact that he's saddened by all this death. He's like, I lost so many people today. I had to kill Gamora. This day, there's just no end to the loss.
I know.
And he's just batshit crazy. His imagination is really limited. Because you could tell, like, he's so focused on killing half the universe.
Yes.
Without thinking about the repercussions. Without thinking of, like, an alternative. He preaches that he wants to preserve life by extinguishing half of the universe. But he really, in his own twisted way, doesn't see another way out.
No, he doesn't.
It's really fucked up, but fun.
It is.
And, of course, we get the Soul Stone from there.
Yep.
And we move on to the next battle with the Guardians, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Iron Man.
And I'm surprised he didn't just come. Well, Tony, I mean, he did a good job of making sure, I guess, when he balls up his fist, that's how he activates stones.
Yeah, they had a pretty good plan. And even just Iron Man on himself, just beating up Thanos and actually getting some blood off of him.
Yeah, which I was impressed with that, Tony. You're a winner in my book.
Yeah. You won even though you got stabbed through the chest?
Like the...
Oh, stomach.
Yeah, through the stomach.
Yeah.
Through the abdomen.
Mm-hmm. I think that was one of the 14 million outcomes.
Yeah, I think
like if Tony dies, that's done.
And I feel like he had to make sure that don't happen.
Yeah. Doctor Strange, the one outcome has to be Tony Stark lives.
Yes. And then save him, give him the Soul Stone.
The Time Stone?
I mean, yeah, the Time Stone. And then the Mind Stone. Like...
Oh, wait. Before we get there, Doctor Strange, the whole movie, he's pretty much preaching to Tony Stark, like, if it's you or the kid, I'm going to choose the stone every time.
Yes.
I think that's why he had so many outcomes where it's like, we always lose. Why do we always keep losing? And I think it's just, he had to be kind of selfish, but kind of selfless at the same time.
Yeah, he was
to
like,
give up the stone.
Only way we're going to win through this, I give up the stone. Everything plays out. And I wonder if he had one of those moments. I'm curious, because with the Time Stone, of course, he can see into the future. I'm wondering if he had one where, like with the Sorcerer Supreme, where she would look into her future and she knew her cutoff point.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering
it's a blind spot.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if he actually seen past, like, him disappearing.
Maybe, potentially.
Yeah. I think they possibly did. Then the last and final stone, the Mind Stone. And that one is like a clusterfuck. Because you feel so emotionally tied to Vision and Wanda. And it's like, you understand how she is, where she have to destroy the stone. And it's like, oh my gosh, she had to kill him. Thanos gets there. Everyone's trying to hold him back. She even holds him back. I'm like, wow, okay. This is someone that you can use later on. Like, nope. Rewinds time. Smacks her. She's watched as once again the love of her life is killed right before her eyes.
Yeah. Not only did she have to kill him, she watches him die again.
Yes. And in the most cruelest way, like, he literally, like, that's the thing I say, and we talked about it. I was like, Thanos is just going to have to, like, snatch that gem right out of his forehead. And by God, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah. I kept imagining, like, a clean swipe.
Yeah.
No, he, like, crushes his forehead.
His head is caved in. Like, Thanos was like, I'm sick and tired of playing these games.
Yeah. And even gets a little bit of that monochrome look to him.
Yeah.
From the comics.
And, like, I was even impressed with, like, at first I thought it was going to be, like, something in the movies or whatnot. Steve Rogers actually held back, like, Thanos. And he really did, like, think for a second, like, why in the hell is this happening? Then he was like, you know what? Punch.
I have two hands. I could punch him with the other one. I don't have to rely on the glove every single time.
And, I mean, to see, like, everyone in, like, their final moment, I thought Rhodey was going to be crushed in his suit.
I was kind of... it felt like that a little bit, because he had the Space Stone crushing him.
Yeah, and I was like, this is about to go bad.
Yeah. Or you kind of glad that every time he used the Infinity Stones, it wasn't just a blue laser,
Yeah.
then a red laser, then a purple laser.
He was somewhat creative in his last battle, but to finish it off with that axe through his chest, it just comes to show you, like, okay, Thor is strong. I feel like they made it seem like in Thor Ragnarok, oh, he's all powerful. We get to Infinity War. He needs a weapon to maintain that strength that he has.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm happy to see that, like, that axe went through Thanos, even through the gauntlet. And now I'm just like, what's next?
I feel like Thor definitely got the most power upgrades throughout all the movies. Meanwhile, Hulk has progressively gotten weaker, or at least lost more battles as time has gone on. He lost against the Hulkbuster, he lost against Thor, he lost against Thanos, and now he's not even coming out until the next movie.
Even if he does come out in the next movie.
Yeah. I'm glad they had more Banner. Because, like, using Mark Ruffalo, he's pretty good as an actor. And he also has my favorite movie version of Bruce Banner.
What I'm mad is, they didn't talk more on the relationship between him and Romanoff.
Yeah, like, you see it. Like, when they see each other for the first time, they acknowledge each other, but then it's like, there's no time.
Yeah.
There'll be time for the next movie. I think the next movie, everyone who's in a main Avenger, because they all lived. We have Cap, Tony, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and I'm forgetting someone else.
Okoye, M'Baku.
No, but from the main cast.
Oh.
Who am I forgetting from the main cast? There's 6 of them. Oh, well, they lived.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawkeye,
Yeah.
right? Did I say Hawkeye?
You said Hawkeye. No, so it's Tony, Cap, Thor, Hulk, Scarlet Witch. I mean, not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
They're alive. I'm sure all of them made it through. Then we have other characters like Rocket. He lived.
Yes,
he's on Earth
surprisingly.
now. Let's see. M'Baku, Okoye, possibly Shuri.
Yeah, possibly Shuri. What's her name? Gamora's sister.
Nebula. Nebula lived.
Yeah, which surprisingly enough, like, Thanos fucking hates her.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's all random. He really wanted it to be random.
Like, I know, I mean, but he hates her so much. Like, she was like, you should have killed me. He like, that's a waste of parts. I was like, ooh. Wow. That's real deep-rooted hatred, Thanos.
Or
like,
it might be like I'm your father, I know what's best for you. I'm going to treat you like shit.
Yeah, like, she feel like that stepchild. Okay, I guess it's time we finally get into it.
The final end credits?
No, the scene before Thanos, no, scene after Thanos snaps his fingers, he's gone. There's no sign. Like, normally when something bad happens, you hear, like, the change of music.
The violins kick in.
You get, like, some, like, you know, the clapping of thunder. You get nothing. All you see is, like, everyone looking around like, what the hell just happened?
Did we just lose?
Like, did we just lose? And then out of nowhere, people start disappearing. Like, it wasn't even like... If it led it up to, like, when you watch most horror movies, what normally happens is like, it slowly leads up to it, and it's just like, oh man, this is bad. That didn't happen in this.
Usually there's a music cue, like, oh, this is where you're supposed to feel sad.
Yes.
People just start disappearing.
Yes.
And you feel that.
Yes.
Bucky is the first one to go. Then you have freaking Groot. Falcon, like a bunch of people start like fading away, and then you cut to Titan.
Yes.
They have all the Guardians fade away. It's like Peter, Mantis, Drax, and then.
But before we get there, I have to say I was like audience reactions. I love them because it comes to show you like how, of course, you don't have like a poll or whatnot, but it comes to show you how people like react to it. When Bucky left, it was like. I think more people were on what's going on than to be, like, generally concerned about what happened. Then, I think it was Black Panther after that?
Yes. Well, close to that. Yeah, pretty close.
And when that happened, the whole audience just gasped like, whoa.
Yeah, the scene kind of like, it's Black Panther pretty much coming to Okoye and being like, this is no place to die.
And I know that happened, but in my mind, I could just see him reaching out to her, and he just disappeared. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And as everyone's leaving, I'm just like, and then when it gets to Titan, as people are going, when Tony gets to Strange is literally telling him, like, hey, you know, no, he didn't say this is the end game. He was like...
He said this is the end game with Thanos teleported
Yeah, but
away.
he was like, yeah, I think yes, we enter in the final stages.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when that happened, I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Hopefully that's it. No, it was not.
No. A certain character, my favorite character in the Marvel Universe, Spider-Man, starts not feeling so good, going up to Mr. Stark and kind of... Tom Holland, you told me this, but he improvised his lines for this. That he was like, Mr. Stark, I'm not feeling so good. And then he collapses, and it's kind of shown a little bit of this in the trailer, like the very first trailer.
Yes.
But we have no context for it at all. And now every time I see that trailer, I'm going to be like, in pain. But I'm sure also, like, Tom Holland, he can't keep secrets.
No.
So I'm sure, like, they gave him many different takes, like, many different outcomes, like, oh, here you survive, here you die, here something else happens. And this scene, he put a lot of guts into this one.
Yeah, like, and it not only does it comes to show you how much of a great actor he is, but it shows you, like, everyone loved, like, Spider-Man is like a household name. He's like a superhero icon. But to bring him into this universe and people, like, just, like, get attached to him so quickly, because it's like Civil War, people loved him. They're like, okay, we're like the Spider-Man. Some people still haven't gotten over the fact that you have someone like Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. They're like, no, we don't want another Spider-Man. You get Homecoming, people warm up to him more. Infinity War, not only was it dramatic in the way he went, but, like, you can hear people, like, freaking out in the theater. I'm just like, oh shit, this is bad. Yeah. And then they just cut to Thanos. Like, he's just sitting there. Like, that scene that he had with, like, little Gamora, where it's just like, did you get everything you wanted? What did it cost you? And I'm just like, okay, do you feel bad now about what you did? No. You can't take this back. You went on a path. And I think he realized, like, after a certain point, he like, I'm far too gone. I just need to continue this.
Yeah, I've made too many sacrifices. I've already made it halfway through. I gotta complete this thing. And also, I think a lot of people are like, oh, we already know in Avengers 4 everyone's coming back to life. It'll be fine. Like, why are you crying? Or why are you feeling sad about all this? The characters don't know that. Like, we feel bad for them. We feel bad for Iron Man. He just took Peter Parker underneath his wing. He took him as a mentee, and he pretty much was raising this kid to be an Avenger. And he put a lot of his hopes and aspirations into this kid, and is like, he says in Homecoming, like, what happened if someone died today? What if it was you? Like, I don't need that on my conscience. Yeah. Kind of like as a dickish way of saying, like, hey, I care about you. Don't die, kid.
And, I mean, not only that, like, it's one of those things where you just, like, I hate when people are like, oh, yeah, they're going to come back. You know, this is No. Take each movie as it is. What if they just like, okay, this is our last Avengers movie. That's how they end it. That's a really messed up way of ending this movie.
Yeah. But also, I think Avengers 4, the sequel to this one, is really going to make or break how we feel about this later. Yes. Like, right now, we're really in love with this movie. Next year, they could drop the ball. It could be like a Dawn of Justice situation where we're just like, this is a mess.
Nah,
and this totally makes...
I highly doubt that ever happen.
It's a very doubtful outcome, but it's like one of those things where, like, Part 2 really could affect the way we see Part 1. Yeah. And I think Part 2 is either going to elevate or kind of, like, bring down our hype, our excitement about Infinity War. Whether it's called Endgame, whether it's called Disassembled, Secret Wars.
See, right now, I'm at the point, I don't care. I just want to move forward. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, then let's just go ahead and get it. I can't wait for the next trailer.
Yeah. Oh my god. Infinity War is the first movie to feel like an event comic. Yes. Like, if you get the main title event comic, this is everything. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's like a movie tie-in, or a comic book tie-in. It's a tie-in to an event. And then Captain Marvel's kind of like a prelude to the next event. Yes. It's like your usual typical Marvel summer event, but in movie form now. It's like they've adapted that storytelling.
So, end credit scene. Did you see that coming?
I really thought it was going to be one thing for a second, but it turned out to be another. I thought it was going to be Skrulls. Oh, okay. Like, I really thought people were going to start dying or reverting back into Skrulls. And then that was Sam Jackson being like, we need to call Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. Either way, I thought it was going to be Captain Marvel, but it didn't go the whole way, but it went in a good way.
Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, even though I knew about the end credit scene beforehand, I didn't know what was going to happen. I like the whole, like, giving tribute to, like, you got to understand, if you keep up like us with, like, all, like, you know, the news segments and everything, what's going on, it takes place in the 90s. A beeper that looked like it's been altered to actually do, like, like, space like signal sending. Like I like that. I'm glad that they kept it with a beeper, and it just makes me excited for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and it makes me excited to see like Nick Fury kind of as a Men in Black operative a little bit. Just if you think about it, it's like space. He's got a thing to communicate with them. He's in a secret organization. Him and Coulson kind of look like another pairing that we know from Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Clark Gregg, like he's gonna be a little bit younger in the movie too.
Yes, they're gonna both be in Captain Marvel. But
yeah,
I think Captain Marvel should be saved for another podcast.
I think when we get I think we'll get a trailer in July.
Okay.
I think like that's a teaser though.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
At least something for Ant-Man the Wasp.
Yeah.
And then like
teaser to a trailer.
I love it. Yeah, because in July we got the Black Panther trailer. And that was a pretty good trailer. I think that's going to be it for this one.
It's going to be at Infinity War. I could say they put their foot in it, and they shoved all of our hearts in it also.
Yes. It passed expectations. It made me really excited for the next year. Like May 3rd, I believe.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? All talks are talking about Ant-Man the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers 4, nothing else after that.
Yeah. We know that there's going to be a Spider-Man movie like in July.
We know, but it's just I really enjoy the fact that everyone's like, we know these next two movies are going to happen. We need to know what happened, what's going on.
But also we know Tom Holland might have let it slip that the sequel does involve him, but there's still the possibility that it's a Miles Morales movie.
True.
Not a Peter Parker movie.
But I think that's it.
I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I probably would give a 10 out of 10 to this movie even if it sucked.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But yeah. I think they put their foot in it.
They definitely did a good job. Not only for like a superhero movie, but a movie in general. But
yeah.
That's it for us at Nerd Boys Comic Blog. I'm Marco.
Charles.
We'll see you guys later.